Hi there, Bones here. On February 14th, 2011, pitchers and catchers reported for spring training. With that in mind, we're going to take a look at some useful and useless pitching statistics. We'll take a look at common and not so common stats and figure out which ones matter any at all in the wonderful world of baseball. Let's have a gander at walks and hits per inning pitched. This tells you how good a guy is at getting people out without letting men on base. A low whip indicates a lot of men out between walks and hits allowed. Well, either that or his fielders give up a ton of errors and he's hitting a lot of opposing batters.
Forget you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, forget you.
Saves indicate that a reliever came into a game with a 1, 2, or 3-run lead and didn't give up said lead by the time he finished the game. This is a useless stat because it applies only to guys who pitch 1 inning per game for the most part. Major league pitchers, as a general rule, give up a lot less than 1 run per inning, and that's to say nothing of 3. Plus, a save is only rewarded if you finish the game. If you don't finish, let's say you only pitch the 7th and 8th inning, or the 7th or 8th inning, then you're rewarded with a hold. Can you name the league leader in holds? No? It's because no one else can either! Which is sort of the point, and it's why saves are just as useless of a stat as holds. BABIP, which is fun to say, is a measure of batting average of opposing batters on balls in play. It measures the opponent's batting average on anything that's not a strikeout, walk, hit batsman, or home run. It's mostly a measure of how lucky a guy is because if you hit a ball in play against Roy Halladay, it's just as likely to land in as if you hit a ball in play against, say, Jeff Suppan. Anyway, you can use BABIP to say if a guy is having a bad lucky streak or if he's just a terrible pitcher.
Forget you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, forget you.
Earned run average is one of the oldest pitching stats in all of baseball. It's how many earned runs a guy gives up per 9 innings pitched. It's useful to separate good pitchers from bad pitchers, but it's not that great of a statistic. It requires a rather large sample size. If a reliever gives up a run in a 1-inning appearance, he'll then have a 9+ ERA, which is bad, for the next 8 innings he pitches, which is kind of ridiculous. Plus, consider that some parks allow more runs than others. Identically skilled pitchers can have really different ERAs depending on where they play, especially if one plays in, say, Coors Field, where baseballs fly out of the park all the time, while another pitcher of equal skill plays in Seattle's Safeco Field, which is a baseball-eating hole in the ground. So you see, ERA is useful to keep tabs on who's good and who's bad, but it can't tell you who's the best. ERA plus is just ERA adjusted for park factors and whatever the hitting trends are that particular year. Basically, all it does is make ERA much more useful. Strikeouts per 9 inning and walks per 9 inning are some of the most useful statistics out there for pitchers. They're the number of opposing batters a pitcher walks or strikes out per 9 innings, that is 1 game. Strikeouts get big play in the media, but walk rates can be just as important. Think about it. A low walk ratio means that batters have to hit the ball against that pitcher. And even the best batters in baseball only get a hit 1 in every 3 trips to the plate. So if a pitcher's keeping his walk count low, odds are he's doing really, really well.
Forget you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, forget you.
Wins may be the single most useless statistic in all of baseball. They don't tell you anything about how good a pitcher is. They merely tell you how good the guys behind him might happen to have played that particular night. Plus, they depend so heavily on the offense, they may as well not even be a pitching stat. Wins matter for teams, but not for individual pitchers. if somebody had a 22-win season and somebody had a 12-win season, it's not indicative of anything other than the guy with the 22-win season had a better team effort behind him. Put another way, you can lose a no-hitter. It's happened a couple times throughout baseball history because of errors and because of walks. Okay? Wins don't indicate a dadgum thing. All they tell you is that the team sitting behind you managed to score a run for you. If you throw an almost perfect game but take a loss while your opponent in some other game allows 5 runs but gets a win, it doesn't mean that he's a better pitcher than you. It merely means that somebody managed to score more runs. Consider also that wins can be lost by the bullpen, and that's really completely unfair to the starting pitcher. Also, relief pitchers can get wins by blowing 2 or 3 run leads and then having their team score a run in, say, the bottom of the 9th or even in extra innings. So you tell me how useful wins are, will you? So the next time you hear wins used as a statistic to determine the Cy Young winner, you can feel free to throw a brick through your television. That's all for now. I believe we'll have a post coming up soon on the usefulness of, say, I don't know, certain batting statistics, fielding statistics, and maybe even a few reports coming out of spring training given the old Better Sports Network treatment. For now, you guys have a great night, or day, depending on when you watch this video, and we'll see you next time.
Girl I love and I like forget you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough.